Hey,
What is going on?
man, I'm so sorry. Lost track of time. Didn't realize it was 7 o'clock. Um, uh, and not that your interview from the car today wasn't riveting and or anything. So
What's that?
your interview from the car today.
What about?
Why were you in a car?
Oh, well, you didn't stay around. I thought you stood around long enough to hear me. So I went to. I went. There was a original cover that the artist was going to be at a shop 2 hours south of me, and so I was going down there, but I knew I wouldn't make it back in time for Slab Hub, so I came back and then stopped and did the show in the back. So I prepared by taking my slabs that I was going to show with me, so I could do it from the back.
Okay. All right. I mean, I thought I kind of caught that, but I was like, really? He carried
Yeah,
all the slabs in the car with
yeah,
him?
yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah. I had seen it, and I told the guy I wanted to pick it up, and then I was like, um, "There's something else I was supposed to do Saturday. What was that? Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm supposed to be on that." So I had to get to a certain point because I had another certain obligation that I needed to do by a certain time. So I got home in time to go do that, so I could be here on time. Well, anyway, we know the rest of the story. So,
I was
some
looking at I was trying to
people,
read this comment real quick, and I kind of agree. Yeah. I mean, with you being my friend, like, where's mine at?
well, no, I think the deal would be like you should be looking for a piece yourself. So that's
Oh,
the way I took it. That's the way I took it.
oh, okay.
But we are here to talk about Dallas Fan Expo,
We are.
which
I'm pulling
is
it up right now.
which
All
is a huge con every year. So if you're in the Dallas, greater Dallas area, be sure to swing by. This year, well, every year it seems as they've recovered from COVID, they seem to have kind of just upped their game as far as the level of creators they're able to get, which is pretty good because if you think about from the con season, like these bigger creators, they can't choose every single con, right? So, they're going to go to a con where they're going to get the most action at, whether it's sketches, selling art, SIGs, whatever. So, when you're dealing in the middle of con season like this, and you've got heroes like right behind you on the heels of that, like then people start having to make real decisions, right? Or you can be just mad like me and want to go to both of them. But like,
that was crazy when I heard you were doing that. And
blood,
you're right. This seems we've been talking about this. It seems a little late for excuse me for Dallas Fan Expo. It's usually I think in the May time frame, but it's beginning of June, and you're 100% right. It's right in the middle of con season that they're having this. But here's the dates, of course, is June 7th through the 9th. And here are the time periods uh, that they're showing. Um, and yeah, a lot of great guests and things like that. Did you want to jump over to the guests first, or
well, and a lot of these big Fan Expo, I mean, they're a big organization, right? So they bought, I think Dallas Fan Expo actually used to be part of the whole Wizard World thing at one time too.
Mhm.
And so, they are very geared, as a lot of cons are these days, very geared towards like the celebrity, the cosplay market. And, they got to do so obviously for financial reasons. But with the way that they lay out Dallas Fan Expo and have been able to garner the attention of some of the big creators that they have, really speaks that they want to at least keep some semblance to a Comic Con. Because look, and I'm sure everybody in the chat, Shelby, you included, have been to cons before. That is Comic Con in name only,
we've talked about it? Yes, for
right?
sure.
And then like you go and there's no comic creators, no comic books, And so the Dallas Fan Expo is admittedly a little bit light on the comic book vendor market. However, they do have some big ones. And if you're in the Dallas area, I always go to Titan Comics, which is the biggest shop in town. They're actually having an anniversary sale the week that we're there, the week of Fan Expo. And so they have a really good selection, very well organized type of a situation there. So I always go, I normally go shopping for run fillers and, that kind of good stuff at shops, local shops anyway. So it doesn't bother me that there's not an awful lot of vendors at shows like this because I'm going to spend most of my time in a line somewhere. So
Edie, if you need to find Jason, you're correct. I can walk over to Artist Alley and I can try to glance down the row of the line and just look for this large wagon sticking out. And then that's him. Hey, while I'm thinking about it real quick, we are getting together to go to cons and all that. We need to be supplied up. And you, of course, have your wagon. And this year, I am taking a brand new product with me that has been happy to sponsor us today. And that is Comic Shell. So these are great products if you've never seen these. Jason, have you seen these yet?
Did you talk about these on your show the other night?
I talked about it for a minute, but we actually have a coupon code that we're able to give people today, and I'm trying to do the ticker.
I knew I had recently seen this, so yeah.
Yeah, so let me point this out. So they come in two great colors. I bought one of each. I did pay my own money for these, and I contacted these people, and I said I would like to get affiliated somehow. Mm-hmm. But usually I carry around this bulky thing, which sometimes fits comics, sometimes doesn't. But this product is really great. You can fit up. You can use the same amount that fits in this goes in here. But we've got nice sleeves. We got padding. We've got a little foldable thing, another sleeve, and it zips up. It's got a carry handle. Just an amazing product. That's what I'll be using this year. That's what I'll be using this year to carry around some more important books. And it comes in black and comes in this really great green.
Yeah, so and of course the benefit to that being that you can put slabs or raw books and versus that Padfolio that you're only going with raws.
Exactly. This will fit up to 2 slabs, and then you can slide a couple of raw books in there. But yeah, really great product. I was happy to for us to sponsor up with these guys, and you can get 10% off your order. So it's down there in the below.
There you go.
Is the Comic Shell, and use Shelby's Comics. Remember, with 3 S's, one at the front, one at the end, and one in the middle. But yeah, really great group of people. I just love this product, and yeah, please use that code and get 10% off.
So
that's my quiz.
So when I go to Heroes, I can't take my wagon, so I got to figure something out.
There you go. I think we have a solution.
So do appreciate everybody in the chat. Thiago, always I hear something about art. He's going to show up. Brian Wells in the chat, who was in the Fat Stacks chat.
He was, and I didn't know that Brian apparently sells a few books here every now and then.
He is a vendor, and he sets up. He's in California, so
okay.
but yeah, so Phil Elling, I appreciate you for showing up as well. But yeah, so we're going to talk about Dallas Fan Expo and some of the people that we're excited to see, some of the plans that we have for Dallas Fan Expo. And we'll go from there. So, Shelby, if you want to bring up the
Yes,
comic
sir.
creators, we'll talk about the comic creators, and we'll breeze over some of the other ones that some folks might be interested in. Of course, early registration has passed now, so you have to pay full price for the ticket. But I think I, and Carlos Collects was talking about this the other night that the tickets for a sizable convention is not that expensive comparatively, right? I mean, all
Uh,
money is important, but
exactly. I mean, $35 for a single day, 3 days, only 110. I mean, Comic Palooza is 110 a day down here in Houston, and this is 110 for the whole weekend. The Ultimate Fan Package is sold out, and the VIP package are sold out. But yeah, still have a chance to um you can see the prices here. Sundays are a little bit higher. But yeah,
well, and so that's really
I
unusual. And
apologize.
the
Was about
reason
to
why the reason why Sundays are higher for this particular con is because one of the headliners is only going to be there on Sunday, which is Frank Miller.
yeah.
Spoiler alert. And so he was going to be there Saturday only. Then it became Sunday only. I don't know if they went and ran to get the what is this?
This is my original. Um, this is my original Dark Knight. So
So you're gonna be there Sunday for the Frank Miller, or you
I am
pay?
not, because this one's already signed.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's just, while you talking, sharing about Frank Miller, I'm just giving a
So
example.
is it signed by Klaus
It is
Janson?
not signed by Klaus Janson. So
There's a bumper opportunity because spoiler alert, he's going to be there as well.
there you go.
But so yeah, so pull that up and we'll dive into the comic creators, um, and see. Now talking about art, as it relates to comic creators, Dallas is not a big art con. So typically, if you're going to pick up any art there, it's going to be either sketches from the people or like original art pages that they have there. Now,
Have at the booth. Yeah.
right. So there was an original art page by Sean Gordon Murphy, who is also going to be there. We'll see that in a second. That I saw Tony NY, who Shelby knows from selling on YouTube, that he had shown several of us art folks, and that he took over in Lake Como. And oh my word, I hope he sold it at Lake Como, so I'm not tempted to spend money I shouldn't spend. But
Actually, Tony is in Italy right now, so I'm not sure if you can. I'm not sure when he's coming back.
no, I think he got back.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
Did he get
so
back?
he was in Lake Como, Italy, and they had an art show over there.
Yes,
So
yes.
so I went to Vienna for a company convention earlier this month, and so I was over there, and I missed all the excitement because not the week I came back, not that week, but the next week was not only a comic convention in Vienna, like what we think of as comic conventions, but then also this Lake Como show. And Lake Como, I mean, you could took a train down there to Como and enjoyed that because it's kind of a experience in of itself, not just related to comics. But so let's dive into some comic book goodness here. We mentioned Frank Miller, who's only going to be there on Sunday. I will not be there on Sunday. Shelby, are you going to be there? No.
I am not. I am not.
Yeah. So
I,
there is
I,
that.
yeah, I've got a big week. I told you I was flying out of town the week prior for my job, and I'm actually flying back Wednesday night and then getting up Thursday and driving to Dallas. So,
Oh, wow. It'd been cool if you could just told them, hey, instead of flying back, just stayed there in Dallas. But
yeah, I thought about it, but I didn't think I could talk you into driving me home.
yeah, they've been a little bit out of the way. Yeah,
I've been a little bit out of the way. I mean, you could have hit I-10 from Houston
yeah,
and gone back over to
yeah.
Mississippi.
It wouldn't have been horrible out of the way, but yeah.
Yeah. So Andy Kubert, you got any cool stuff from him? Is he a popular person on your list? I don't think we've ever talked about the Kuberts together.
So Adam Kubert, I have met before. Andy, I have not.
Same here. Same here.
And so Andy did this little guy right here, which because of the X-Men 97 cartoon has become a popular book again. This is X-Men 25. This is the time then Magneto rips out the adamantium out of Wolverine's off Wolverine's bones. Way back in 2019, I got Fabian Nicieza to sign it for me, who is the writer on that. So
not chance for a double again.
Yeah, so getting a double now. And then I've got Uncanny X-Men 279, which is already signed by Chris Claremont. And so Andy Kubert did the cover art to this one. So
perfect.
So
you're the one that introduced me or made me think about those opportunities to get things double and triple signed. So yeah. And,
so I would love to get a piece of Andy Kubert art in particular for X-Men, which to me is what he's more known for. I mean, he's done a lot of other stuff, and it mentions like the Batman and good run on Batman, but that stuff is a little out of my price range. That you're typically talking about $7 to $10,000 for a decent page.
And I don't think a lot of people are thinking about X-Men because, well, that stuff's from the late 80s, early
90s.
Early 90s.
So basically he took over the what you refer to as the Jim Lee X-Men.
Jim Lee X-Men, yep.
Yeah, so he took over after Jim Lee left, and so had a significant run of it too. But yeah, I mean, more recently he's known for Batman and some other stuff like that. But Art Adams, I've met him. Met him once or twice. Got a bunch of stuff signed. Got a remark because that was all I could afford from him. His stuff is really pricey. The remark was $300. That was last year. But yeah, I mean, he's done a bunch of covers back in the day, done interiors. So depending on what your fan base is or what as to what you would want. So Shelby, you got anything that you're going to get Arthur Adams to sign?
I'm the same. I've met him a couple of times, but the other night on Carlos's, he showed a few of those Superman covers. Yeah. I didn't know that he did. So I bought one of those because I just thought it was really cool art. But then also there's a Gen 13 #1, and there's a couple of different variants. One is done by Michael Golden, and one is done by Art Adams.
Okay.
So Michael Golden's going to be there, and so I picked those two up to get signed. I thought that'd be kind of neat to have as like a duo of the same book.
Mm-hmm.
David Finch, I know we've talked about him a couple of times. He canceled last year, I believe.
Yeah, it seems like something happened. So he's from Canada, and if you've seen his Essential Sequential is his art rep. If you've seen his schedule, I mean, he's really going out and about. He actually just did a Kickstarter that funded like within an hour that I backed. So looking forward to picking that up. But with David Finch, I've got several comics that I've met him before, but I've since gotten comics signed by other people, and I want him to be on there also. And I also have some original art pages of his that I would like for him to sign. Batman one. These are Batman ones. And but I would love to get another page from him. Love to get a commission from him. His commissions for headshots are now $700. However,
Wow.
so when you say, "Hey, I can have anything I want, I can't have everything," you start making real life choices. But
I mean, but that's like we talk about. Sometimes you can get the remark,
yeah, so
like that. So
the
the
remark's
headshots are
cheaper.
usually pretty large.
Remark's cheaper. So if I was in the process of doing, I have some ideas for like a jam piece, 11x17 jam piece for Batman with the holding his cape like this, and then like the little pieces of the cape be like headshots of the various members.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And then that, like, you have like one person do the Batman, and then have other people do the remarks of the headshots. And so you can, with the jam piece, you can get a little bit of everything. So that would be a good choice for David Finch because his stuff has gotten pricier. But yeah, fantastic cover artist, New Avengers that he did with Brian Michael Bendis. Really is probably where he made a name for himself, but started out with Image with Mark Silvestri at Top Cow. So
Joseph Loeb. So he's, of course, this is quintessential stuff, right? The Long Halloween, Hush, Batman, Superman. You got anything special for him?
So with Jeff Loeb, this is a new announcement I just seen the other day, or it might have been today, that they're actually the final sequel to Long Halloween. That I don't know if Tim Sale was in the process of finishing it when he died, or if he had finished it and it never came to light. But I read it somewhere that they're actually coming out with that. So, but yeah, Jeff Loeb, never met him before. I do have several Batman books. If you think about the Batman Hush line with Jim Lee, if Jim Lee wasn't so hard to get a signature and it wasn't so expensive when you did, I would get all those Batman signed. But in my mind, if I'm thinking, hey, I'd like to get a second and a third signature on something, they're not big enough books in my life to say, hey, I want to pay Jeff Loeb,
right?
Because then I'm going to feel obligated. But I do have a couple of things like this Incredible Hulk 600. It's already signed. It's already signed by Dexter Vines, and I'd like to get Ed McGuinness, who did the art for it as well, to sign it one day. But Jeff Loeb did the writing on that, and I think that see, I've got it. I do, and so you probably do something similar to this as well. Oh, so he wrote the Cable when Ian Churchill took over Cable, like early teens, part of that volume 1 run, and did a long run with Scott Hanna. So for my original art, I don't get the writer to sign the art unless the word bubbles are on there. So the word bubbles, in my mind, like the writer had something to do with that.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I have several of those Cable pages that I'm going to bring. That Ian Churchill's already signed, so I'm just going to get Jeff Loeb to sign them as well because they got the word bubbles on them. Okay. So that's the main thing I'm going to get him to do.
All right. Well, we talked about Sean Gordon Murphy, Jason Aaron. I've always loved his art, the covers and stuff.
He's a writer.
Writer, I mean, yeah. Love some of the action comics and such. Anything?
So I've got a original Sin cover that I got Steve McNiven to sign years ago. But of course, Jason Aaron's probably most popularly known for ruining Avengers. No, that's more recently. But no, he did his Thor run. God.
Oh yes, he did that one. That's right. Thank you. Thank you.
So he's known for that, and I've got. Did I get? Yeah, I thought maybe I got one of the original. The Action Comic stuff is newer. He did that Batman Off-World. That was pretty good, actually. It was a mini series that he just did. But I don't have an awful lot for him.
Frank Cho, I feel like we've met him before. I mean, there's a lot of returning people. So anything special from Cho?
No, because I have met Frank Cho before, and I've gotten to excuse me, sign some stuff. He's more known for his risque stuff, which I'm not a big fan of.
Yeah,
personally.
same here. Same here.
But you know, he's a great artist, really nice guy to talk to. Um, if you follow him on IG, you know what I'm talking about. But he posts like his sketch covers and like where he comes up with these ideas. And I asked him, I saw him, I said, where do you come up with these crazy ideas for this stuff? Like he goes, I'll just like randomly be laying in the bed thinking about it and go, man, that'd be a cool idea to do. And he'll write it down and end up doing a sketch of it. But
Okay.
some fun stuff. The next lady I think is better known for her like young adult stuff. So
Yeah, that's what I was about to
that,
say.
that's
I'm
my
not
stuff.
familiar, but I do recognize the Starfire. And yeah, all this is kind of the young adult type of stuff, which is great. Yeah, she's got a really nice style.
Yeah, I mean, it's great that you know you're getting younger folks into comics. So I mean, you
Yeah,
know, it's just not me. Um, so it doesn't all have to be about me. So, um, but yeah, Klaus Janson, I have met him several times, but similar to David Finch, I end up picking up something that I get signed multiple people, and I'll want to go back and get him to sign something else. And so Sean Gordon Murphy did the Mr. Freeze part of the Batman White Knight universe. Klaus Janson actually did, I think he wrote it, if I'm not mistaken.
really.
Yeah. And so what was interesting about this is that Klaus Janson is German.
He is.
So his, I'm trying to remember the story, but like his grandfather or something was with the Nazis or something like that. And so there, it's a part of the story. And so he kind of wrote it from a little different angle. So it was really interesting. So I like the story. And for that reason, I'll get Sean Gordon Murphy to sign this and Klaus to sign it.
That's
And
great.
then we got Captain Marvel 33, early appearance of Thanos from back in the day. And so the plan for this is that Jim Starlin did what Klaus Janson didn't do. And Jim Starlin's going to be at Heroes Con the next week. So I'm going to get Janson to sign it, knowing I'm going to see Starlin. So
Did Jansen do the inks
inks
on
on it.
that?
Yeah.
Inks. Okay. And that's kind of how he started out, was inking, then doing pencils and inks, and then gotten into writer. So
Well, he, you know, there's certain people like John Romita Jr., Frank Miller, that he's
yeah,
really well known for inking.
inking.
And when I saw him the last time, it was last year at New Orleans Fan Expo, and a guy come up to him and said, "Hey, did you do any work on this?" He looked at the comic, and he goes, "No, that was so and so." I said, "How did you just look at that and notice that?" I mean, it was just amazing how he was able to detect somebody's styles so distinctly, you know.
Right.
But he's a real nice guy to talk to.
Uh, Kyle, the Craig Kyle. And I'm sorry that I'm not much of a modern person. Hey, Las Cruces. I am not much of a modern person, so
Yeah.
you're going to have to help me with this person, if this is the artist or the writer or
Yeah. So Craig Kyle is, I think, the inker,
inker.
or
Okay.
is that Yost? I'm gonna confirm that.
Oh, there is Kyle Yost, right?
So he's also going to be there. Yost is. Let's see. Um, okay, so written by Craig Kyle and Chris Yost. So both of them are writers. So and so I'm skipping ahead, but Craig Kyle and Chris Yost are both going to be there. So
Okay.
last year at Dallas Fan Expo, I got this sign,
Yep.
and by Mike Choi.
Yep.
And he actually did a remark for me for free. And because I was just complimenting him on his art in this book, in this series in particular, I actually have these two pages right here, both of them, which this
Ooh.
page right here
Yeah, I remember when you bought those and showed me.
became
Yeah.
became
I
the
remember
cover.
that.
And so I got him to sign those. So I've already got him to sign this.
And you're right. I might have gotten Mike Choi and Frank Cho mixed up when I spoke earlier. So I thank you. This is why I love having you as a partner, because you remember things so much better than me.
X-Men Second Coming, great
Yes.
1 in 25 cover by David Finch. So I'm going to get David Finch to sign this for me. And I actually picked this up on Whatnot not too long ago. All right, so what we got? Jay
All
Lee.
right, these X4, Jay Lee, we've seen him. You know, this is our third annual road trip together.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
He's been there every time. Now, what I'm excited about is Steve McNiven. He is one of those classic. So, like I mentioned, I'm not much of a modern book person. I depend on you quite a bit, and I appreciate you for helping me navigate the newer people, since I'm not a modern comic collector. But Steve McNiven, I recognize, and I have been hunting down something for him to sign, but I think I'm going to go for a portfolio piece with him.
Okay. Yeah, I've got a prelim panel from Uncanny Avengers that he did that has Rogue and Scarlet Witch in it. I bought it off eBay. I met him back in 2019 and he was supposed to do me a cover, and he got busy, didn't do it, so it ended up not happening. But I've got several of these Deaths of Wolverine that are signed by other people.
Yes.
So like this one's signed by Herb Trimpe.
Oh wow.
And so I'm going to get Steve to he did the interiors for this series. He's probably best known for this and the Old Man Logan series.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean he's done a lot of stuff, and nice guy. He actually was at Comic Palooza last year, I think, in your backyard.
Several of us are boycotting that.
Well, I mean, you mentioned the price and what they have, and Jewish Dragons. What's up? One of the art guys, and so Jewish Dragons. We were talking about art earlier, and Perillo, which is one of the next people. I actually have this sketch card done by Perillo.
Ooh.
Hulk.
Yeah. So Perillo. I know that these modern artists usually have a lot of books at their table.
Mm-hmm.
If I get something signed, and I mentioned on the Carlos show last year, I busted my budget with a lot of signings. Yeah. This year, I think I'm going to rein myself back because I'm looking for some particular back issue stuff that I didn't look for last year. So Perillo, if I do get something signed, I think I'm going to get probably a book off his table and do that route. There's nothing special I have in my collection I can think of that.
Well, him and his girlfriend, who are both going to be there. Carla Cohen.
Carla Cohen, who's down here right there.
Yeah. So both of them will be there. Both of them are known for their Vampirella covers, among other things. They'll both have art portfolios rather there. And boy, last year I was at a Galaxy Con in Austin, and Perillo was there. And they were like, man, rare U.S. appearance, which Dallas Fan Expo says the same thing right there. And I'm like, I keep seeing him more often now. But he is from overseas. Same here, Russell. Same here. So with Perillo, I seen this Hulk piece, and I was trying to be good. I didn't want to bust the budget on it, but he had mispriced it at $400. And I'm like, man. And so I kind of walked around. I come back. I said, I think I'm going to just go ahead and do it. I went over there. He had repriced it to $900. It's like, dadgummit.
Now I noticed that, 400 is usually a pretty good sweet spot if you can pick up things. I kind of noticed that last year with you. Because and I'll admit, like I said, I love hanging out with you. I love your knowledge in these areas that I don't have a lot of knowledge in. And I followed you around. We followed each other. It's more me following you around. Let's be honest. on Saturday, and you teaching me a lot about those sweet spots with prices and stuff. Let's do some quick shout outs. Jewish Dragon, of course, and then Houdat dropping quite a few messages here. So, those of y'all that are over on the other Chan, meaning Southern Comic Geeks, hey, please jump up here to my Chan. Drop me a sub, a thumbs up, something like that. Really help me out. Those on my Chan that don't know, of course, Southern Comic Geek, go over there to his Chan. Looks like most everybody's coming from your side, which is fine. Let's also give a quick shout out too. You see this rolling across the screen. I love this product. So if you're looking for something to carry your books around this year, you can't go wrong with the comic shell. Perfect for carrying your books around. You will see me with 2 of these at the con. Helps protect your books. And thank you, Southern. I appreciate you so much. You were so good to me, even though it was 20 minutes late today. And you know I'm never late, and this was rare for me, so I really apologize. Again, and I apologize to the viewers. First time in 5 years or so being on YouTube that I was late. So anyway.
Perillo, Jewish Dragons mentioned this about Perillo. Yeah, Carla's the way she I don't know the proper terminology, but her lighting on her painting is a little lighter, which I like more than the dark of Perillo.
Yes.
And that's just a preference, you know. I mean, obviously, he's a great artist, does some stuff. Hey, no problem, Jewish Dragons. Appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you, Jewish Dragons. Great to meet you, my friend. All right, Stephen Platt. I haven't found my Moon Knights yet. Now, this, of course, a person I recognize because he's from the 90s.
Yeah.
I haven't found my Moon Knights yet, but I've got my I did buy a bunch of Prophet 5s.
Oh, yeah. I was going to ask you about Prophet. I mean, that's the other thing he's known for.
I've got a small stack of about 4 or 5 copies, and I'm seeing how much he is. But that was a book that I had an opportunity to pick up several copies of at a sale for $1 each.
Yeah, sure.
And it's like, dude, this is first Stephen Platt on Prophet. It's, when Rob Liefeld paid him a bunch of money to leave Marvel and come over, right? Like, $1 million a page or some stuff. Oh, I think he gave him his car or something like that. Wasn't that
it was, I mean, they were making money hand over fist. They could afford all that stuff back then.
Yeah.
But, Stephen Platt has, for whatever reason, well, I know why he kind of drifted out of the industry was because he could never meet deadlines.
Yeah.
And, but he seems to have gotten kind of back. Is CBCS doing it on site? I would expect they are.
Since they're located there in Dallas, so I'm sure
they usually do. Yeah.
Yeah.
But doing on-site grading. They did last year. They did last year. So where you could just drop it off that Friday and pick it up on Sunday. Yeah. But that's a great question. But yeah, so that's Stephen Platt. But he's been starting to hit the con circuit again. Actually, when I went to GalaxyCon last year, he was one of the other people. I'm like, man, I don't never see him at a con. Now I'm seeing him all the time. But yeah, Ryan Stegman. He's pretty prolific.
Yeah, he's prolific.
I've got
Ram V. I don't recognize.
So Ram V is a writer. More recently of Detective Comics. I'm not digging his Detective Comics because when he writes, he's like very he's one of these writers that like thought provoking. He tries to do, and to me, Batman's like, okay, I don't need this much thought in a Batman comic. Now, having said that, his Swamp Thing run. He did the mini lives of Layla Starr, which was a Boom Studios comic.
Did he? No, I did love that series, and I have that. So
and then Swamp Thing, Mike Perkins on the art. Swamp Thing, it sold so well that they extended it. It became more of a maxi series than a mini series. So I'm sure I'll find something for him there.
And see, I'm keeping it. I'm keeping notes from you this time.
So what I do on mine, and for anybody else in the chat, I get on CLZ because there's a lot of writers or artists that I don't like put two and two together for, and so I'll go, oh man, I forgot I had that cover, or I forgot I really like what they did here, and so I'll just put their name in CLZ, and then it shows all the copies of stuff that I've got, and then I take pictures of my stuff that gets signed, so I know that hey, that's something that I've already got signed. And but yeah, that's how I get my spreadsheet for stuff like this.
Yeah, and CLZ, we're not sponsored by them, but one of my favorite websites is, of course, Cover Price, and CLZ and Cover Price are now ganged up together.
Yeah.
So those are my two go-tos for pricing and things like that. And I'll be honest, I'm old school. I use Excel, so I don't use apps that much for that. But
well, when I got back into comics, back in the day, I had just a piece of paper and my memory. Okay, so when I got back in comics, I'm decidedly older now, and so I don't know if the paper route's the option. So when very shortly thereafter, I found CLZ and was able to start putting everything in there. This next guy, I don't know him.
I don't know. I mean, I do not read. I've heard good stuff, and I don't know if he's an artist or a writer. I'm just who that I think might be more of a modern.
Well, Mr. Collector, who will be there as well, is a Miles Morales fan, and I know that he will be there. Perillo, Greg Land, DNA, Rose Besh, Frank Miller. If I can wait in line, yeah, that's going to be that. Chris Yost, we mentioned earlier when we were talking about X-23.
Yeah.
So there you go. Now Jim Zub is a writer. Now Jim Zub did Avengers back when they introduced the Immortal Hulk. So I've already got Mark Brooks to sign this, and I've got Mark Waid to sign it. So I'm going to get Jim Zub to sign it. And then, or is he the interior writer? I thought he was a writer. Did it say writer on there? I thought he was a writer. But anyway, so then you got the first.
It says everything. It says writer, artist, and art instructor in Canada.
So there you go. So Avengers. This is so there's three versions of this here. This is the first appearance of the Immortal Hulk.
Yep.
So this is the Scotty Young version. Scotty Young is going to be at Heroes Con the week after that. So I'm going to get him to sign that after that. And then this is the second print Joe Bennett cover. If Joe Bennett, which I have a lot of Immortal Hulk pages.
Did you notice though, Jim Zub is only appearing Sunday?
What? Torpedoed it.
I'm sorry, my friend.
I'm glad you did, because I've been walking around looking for him, trying to figure things out. Dang, that sucks.
Yeah.
I might have to see if Collector's going to be there Sunday.
Hey, Kim Beard, how you doing, my friend?
If Collector's going to be there Sunday, Kenneth Bird, one of the most prolific YouTube chatters out there. What's up?
He is.
So so anyway, I might have to see if Mr. Collector's going to be there Sunday, because Jim Zub is one of the writers. Mark Waid and Al Ewing are listed. Paco Medina, Joe Bennett on the art. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to have to see if he's there. That way I can see about. Of course, then that's not going to do me no good for the Scotty Young cover, because that comes out next week. All right. Thanks a lot, Jim Zub. Thanks a lot. Okay. So, Rose Besh, I don't know the next person, but then Rose Besh is starting to be a cover artist in her own right.
She is. Now, there are several covers of hers that I have loved. I don't know if I have them in my collection, because I'll just be honest. Every time when I was, doing the auctions, her stuff would sell really quickly.
Yeah.
When I would get it. But I think she's at one of those, though. I looked up and I saw some of her portfolio pieces.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to do, again, a portfolio piece with her, just because, you get a comic sign, you put it in a bag, or you slab it, you stick it in a box. Portfolio stuff to me is just, you know, if you want to get it framed eventually or something, I mean,
Yeah.
Go ahead if I interrupted you.
No, I say yeah. But no, and so yeah, I don't know that she's done anything like every month, like a monthly title.
I
I
don't
just
think so.
exclusive covers.
Yep.
Same way for the next guy, Ryan Brown.
Yep.
Done a lot of cool covers. I don't know if because like that full facial cover right there. While that's nice and everything, if you do the full facial and then you have like a signature, it kind of takes away from the cover. So I like a cover where there's some. I would prefer a cover that's kind of backed off a little bit. But that's just me. Next guy done some looks like some Ghost Rider, Red Goblin, newer guy.
Yeah.
Mike, yeah, Joyce. Looks like some Spider
It just says
Boy.
work. Oh, he's
Oh, I know him.
artist. So
Yeah, he's been there before. I bought a exclusive TMNT cover from him. Yeah, I know who that is now. So Joyce Chin, not sure, but it says cover artist.
yeah.
Mike Choi, we mentioned him earlier, best known probably for his X23 stuff. He didn't do the most recent thing, which word to the wise, do not take a new brand, that last series that came out for X23. Don't get him to sign it. He won't sign it. So he got miffed because Marvel gave that job to somebody else, and he's like listed as one of the co-creators of X23, and so he kind of got miffed that he didn't get asked to do it, or somebody else got it. But he'll sign the old stuff, the stuff that he had anything to do with. But
I like the old stuff. I like the Deadly Regenesis run really, really a lot. Because I actually read comics, and that's a really great run. We mentioned Carla Cohen again. If I do something, maybe I can see if there's something that I can get Perillo and her, together. I'm not sure if they have something like that.
I'll tell you with Carla, don't
Go
be. There is a Vampirella cover that she painted herself as Vampirella.
Ooh, okay. Maybe I'll see if she has that at her table. Joe Coroni. Did I say that right?
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen him at cons before, but I haven't picked up any stuff from
him. Illustrator. Oh, but it looks like he's done quite a bit of things. He's these are some older books that I know of. X-Files, True Blood. So that'd been the early 2010s. Doctor Who. Okay. Sam Del Rosa, I mean, best known, of course, for the cover of Lethal Protector. He's a, I won't say native, but he lives in Texas, so he's at quite a few of these shows.
Oh, yeah.
Ariel Diaz, the restraining order has lapsed.
Oh, so you're good to go now. That's great.
Yeah, so I'm good to go with her. But let me say this. Ariel is somebody that I've loved from afar, but I do love her art, and she's been a lot more prolific this past year as a cover artist and published and things like that. And she is one of those people that has worked her butt off, because we've known her way back from Cowtown when she used to come and just set up and no one would hang out with her. And has really over the past 3-4 years now become a bit more prolific. So I'm really happy for her success.
And yeah, I'm hoping to get her to do a sketch in my Valiant sketchbook. And so so I'm hoping to get her to do a Roku, which is basically Valiant, looks like a Medusa if you think about Inhumans Medusa. But I feel like she draws the ladies better. I have a Batman sketch cover from her already, and a print signed by her. But yeah, Jerry Duggan, he's a writer.
Excuse me.
He most recently done the X-Men series. He's been on the main X-Men title. Did Uncanny Avengers. And actually, one of the series, I forget which one it is, but one of the Deadpool series that really pushed Deadpool to the way people think of Deadpool today. As much as Rob Liefeld likes to take credit for that,
Yeah, right.
when Liefeld was writing Deadpool, he wasn't quite the wisecracker that he
Right.
is today. Now, in fairness to him, he did not stay on that character very long.
No.
He left, went and found an image, did his thing, and then eventually came back to the character. So, in fairness, there's that. But Jerry Duggan is credited for kind of tilting Deadpool that way. For me, as a writer, just and a comic reader, Jerry Duggan's very hit and miss for me, but he has done some fun stuff.
He has. John Yang, I know we've seen him a couple of times. He always has some stuff at his table. So if I do anything, I'll probably pick up something at his table. Guy Gilchrist, I mean, a classic Star Comics. I believe he did some of those.
He did the dailies for the Muppets in newspapers. He was known as Jim Henson's, and he actually worked on the original TMNT cartoon series.
Yes.
And so he was Jim Henson's artist. So,
yep. So Archie titles there.
Yep.
I'll be honest, I know King Spawn, but I do not know this name.
So Jonathan Glapion is best known probably for his inking work on Greg Capullo. And so I actually have the page to Batman, one of the page where the first fight between Batman and the Talon from Batman issue 2. It's over there on my wall. But he inked that. And then I have this issue. This is the Jim Lee cover of Batman 2 that's already signed by Capullo, Snyder. So I want to get Glapion to sign it. And I wanted to get Jim Lee to sign it, but that didn't happen that year.
That's great.
Expo. But I've met him before. I didn't get him to sign it in Memphis. Michael Golden, he's pretty gets around to a lot of cons, but I do actually have something to him to sign.
I've got a lot of stuff signed by Golden. Like I said, I'm doing that special Gen 13. He will charge more if you bring up the nom to him. You showed that earlier today on the Fat Stacks channel. And I didn't realize he had done that cover. And that is a very cool cover.
Yeah, you wouldn't have thought it. But yeah, so he did this cover, and I actually have a German copy of this book too. But I have.
Did he do the interiors too, or just the cover?
No, Gary Frank did the interiors.
Okay.
So I own that page right there. I own let's see, 8 or 9 pages out of this book.
Really? After you showed that on Fat Stacks today, I looked it up on eBay and almost bought it. It does not look like his art at all.
No, it don't. And so check that out. Make me big so I can show this off here for a second. So this is where Sabretooth tears his wing off. And this is a double page spread. I actually own the original art to that. And then of course the next thing he falls on that page too. But yeah, so like if you're an X-Men fan from the 90s, this book right here, as much as it was chromium goodness, was also a kind of wrapped up a bunch of storylines and also launched several new ones. So I've got to get him to sign that.
That is cool. Like I said, I'm going to do the Gen 23 because I've got a lot of stuff signed by him. So, but I did look that up. That was really cool. Definitely, like I've been complimenting on, you are a pot full of knowledge. Isaac Goddard again. You're gonna have to help me with this person.
He's done a lot of young adult stuff. I actually got him to do a Wonder Woman head sketch remark for me on a jam piece I got for like last year or year before last now. which was great. But yeah, he's a younger guy, just kind of breaking in, mostly young adult stuff.
Now it says legendary artist, but it must be on the DC side, which you know that I'm a bit laxed in. Canadian artist,
Tom Drummond.
mainstays in late 80s, best known for Superman, Superboy, Robin, Teen Titans, and Power Company.
So if you think about the legendary run on Titans that say George Perez had,
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken, he replaced Perez once Perez left that book.
Okay.
And then more into the future is the Superboy title. So the title that became Superboy. So when Death of Superman happened, he was drawing Adventures in Superman. And so he was drawing that part of it. And then when Superboy got his own book, he drew that. So he's done some Marvel stuff, but yeah, mostly he's going to be DC.
So again, maybe one of those people, maybe I'd do a portfolio piece and pick up from.
Super nice guy. Yeah, him and his wife will be there, I'm sure.
Okay. Coley Hammer, again, I mean, saying Blue Beetle, so
the Jimmy Reyes Blue Beetle that was portrayed in the
movie
is credited to him.
I have not watched that movie,
which was in Infinite Crisis. So I've got Infinite Crisis already, a copy of Infinite Crisis already signed by a couple people. I'm surprised I didn't already. I'm almost positive I already got him to sign that because he's not on my list. I've had to have already gotten him signed because he was at GalaxyCon in Austin last year too.
That I wasn't able to make it to. I'm going to plan on going this year, but there's another con. Remind me, I need to talk to you about that is coming up. Patrick Norvoth. I recognize the Beneath the Trees, and this seems like a really. I'm not sure if they're the writer or the artist.
Yeah, I don't know, but I've heard a lot of people like that new series.
Yeah. They do not have a link. Corin Howell, Queen of Swords. I'm sorry, to anybody that I might offend. I don't know you. Yeah, Beneath the Trees. I've heard good stuff about it. I never got a chance to read it or buy it. So, is this person the writer or the artist? Thingo.
Go. Let us know.
Hey, GT.
Oh, both, he said.
Cool. Okay. Then maybe I need to try and find Beneath the Trees and take.
Probably should be a trade out on it now.
Tony Jacobus, illustrator of Goosebumps. This is an example of his work. Freaking awesome. I've never read a Goosebumps or watched a Goosebumps movie.
Yeah, so he was the artist. If you were a child of the late 80s, early 90s, and you read Goosebumps, you saw his art. So
I was in my 20s by that time, so I wasn't watching.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. So
yeah, I was a child of the 70s, man. Yeah, back around, with like pimps with purple hats and feathers and bell bottoms and Philip Kennedy Johnson,
fantastic writer. He left Action Comics at the time Jason Aaron took over. He's currently writing Hulk, which really is a callback to Hulk leaving the spaceship, Donny Cates' idea, and going back to like the Immortal Hulk horror vibe. Really digging it. So I've got a comic or two, Action Comics and Hulk comics that I plan to get him to sign.
Okay. I love this art. I don't know if this person is the artist. I'm assuming they are. Hirishi Kanati. I butchered that last part, but I can spell I can't pronounce the first one here. Ishi. Comic artist. Yeah. Well, I mean, if this is an example of his artwork, definitely might be a portfolio thing. Released first comic in the Gagachi Kaiju series. And it's collaborated with Clint Eastwood and the estate of Bruce Lee. Huh.
You know that Bruce Lee had a brother that was a vegan?
Was a vegan?
Yeah. His name was Broccoli.
Broccoli. All right. So it looks like more young adult. Mike Kungle.
Yeah, I'm guessing.
Greg Land, we've mentioned. I remember I visited him last year, and if I remember, was it him? No, I think he was reasonable with his prices. It was someone else. Okay. You got anything special with Greg Land?
No. Like you, I've met him before. Him and his wife are nice. He's fairly reasonable on stuff. Yeah.
I'm excited for this next one, Kevin McGuire, because again, I loved the Justice League series. His art matched so well with Demanthus writing style. I just loved it. I've seen some portfolio pieces of his, so I thought about going out and I know I have this run, but I think it's in my warehouse. So I'm going to do a portfolio piece with him. I know he's eating something and making me hungry, Todd. I overslept. The truth comes out. I took a short nap and I forgot to set my alarm. So I'm a little hangry, and I know that I'm glad he's eating because he's in a better mood now because he was definitely hangry at me for being late.
It's not Oreos. It's brisket, and
it's brisket. Even better. Francisco Mana. Now I know I'm going to get that mixed up with another Francisco that's an artist. So,
well, it looks like that's Death Dealer there. So it must be homaging like Frazetta or something.
Yeah.
But it says Predator Last Hunt, Web of Carnage. Not familiar with him, but
okay.
Yeah.
Anthony Marquez, part of the Kubert School, so not sure, and I'm not really positive if Adam or Andy, with Joe Kubert passing away a couple of years ago, what their involvement is with the Kubert School or was prior to their
dad
passing. So I have no idea. I know that it still churns out some really good artists and is a really great institution. So John Boy Myers, I mean, cool cover artist. They had hooked up with Frankie's Comics, I think, years ago. They done a lot of variant covers with John Boy. I don't know. I don't have a lot to say about that one.
So I have a variant cover that he did for Optimus Prime or Transformers 1, where he's like in the shooting scene. If you think about the part of the Transformers movie when he changes out of a truck and he's shooting out. So, and then Daniel Warren Johnson, who writes that book and does the interiors, is going to be at Heroes. So I'm going to get John Boy to sign this cover that he did and then get Daniel Warren Johnson to sign it next week.
Mel Milton. I mean, I'm sorry again. This is one of these modern people, but if this is an example of their artwork, I mean, maybe they'll have something at the table that I might pick up or something like that. So that's where I'm probably going to end up. I'm going to end up broke again. Is instead of bringing my own books, I'm be freaking. But normally a portfolio or something is the same, and they sign it for free, so it's about the same.
That's true.
David Nakayama. God, this person's done so many covers. Southern.
A lot of exclusive covers. Now, I actually have an original art page from him. He did a Marvel Adventures, which is more geared towards kids, of Hulk fixing to land on Terrax and Galactus Terrax, right? So I'm going to get him to sign that there. But he's a digital artist now, so he doesn't do anything traditionally anymore, to my knowledge. But he has done a lot of covers. I got a few covers that I'm going to get him to sign. That I got some other people signed too. Cool stuff. Dan Parent, he's pretty prolific on the con scene, as well as Brent Peoples.
As Grant Peoples.
And Carl
Potts.
He was there, what, last year or year before last?
I think he was there. It was either last year or year before, and I won't say it's the year before. Yeah, legendary creator. Best known for probably the late 80s, early 90s Doctor Strange there.
Well, Punisher too. Punisher Wardrobe. Yep.
Yep. Sabine Rich. I love her art. I know I have a couple of pieces I need to find. She did a couple of cool Spider-Gwen covers that I have that I really like, and I'm going to get her to sign those.
So, Sabine Rich is now kind of launched out onto her own, but Sabine Rich is also known for the inking or the coloring on J. Scott Campbell. So if you see a J. Scott Campbell cover, especially more recently, odds are Sabine Rich, and you'll see her signature on there too, did work on it. So that's actually what I'm going to get her to sign, is stuff that he and her done. So,
but that's only more recent stuff, because I've got a lot of J. Scott Campbell.
Right, yeah, I don't think she wasn't inking him back in the Gen 13 days, but
no, not that far back. But he did a lot of.
Yeah, I don't know if he did that. She did Danger Girl or not, but
yeah, I was thinking still more recent. I had bought some pieces from him from his store.
All right, so like this is X-Men Gold 30. This is a J. Scott Campbell cover, but you'll see her signature down there. This is the issue Rogue and Gambit get married. And then this is X-Men Red #1, already signed by Art Adams. She actually did, you see her signature below Adams's there on the original.
Okay.
So she's done some other stuff besides J. Scott, but that's what I know her the most from.
Okay. So X-Men Gold #1. That's a good double signed piece.
Yep.
Looks like a classic animator, Adrian Roop, Pink Panther. I didn't know that people even knew that Pink Panther was still around. Fernando Ruiz, Archie, also appearings. I guess there's a whole booth, Keyword School booth, that's going to be there at the con. And then Miko Suan, I think he's been there the past 3 years. We've been there.
Yeah, he'll be at the Big Time Collectibles booth, I'm sure. And that's usually who brings him in. Does a lot of his covers and stuff. Ben Templesmith.
Yeah.
I don't know if Hoarder's Hide is watching. Maybe if I call him out into the ether, he'll tune in. Ben. It's funny because I went to so I was going to GalaxyCon last year, and I mentioned the Hoarder's Hide. I said, "Yeah, Ben Templesmith's going to be there." He said, "Ask him where my art is." And I said, okay. So I show up at this booth and I'm talking to him. He sees me walk up. He's like, "Hey, here's a potential customer," right? And he says, I say, "Hey, do you know Scott?" And I said, he something about art. I didn't let him on that I knew the whole story. Okay. Right. and like all the going backs and forth, I just kind of left it out there at that. He just started apologizing, and he was going to do this and he's going to do that, blah, blah, blah. So I messaged Scott and I said, well, if he holds up to his word, you should be okay. And of course, he never did. And
Oh no.
it was one of those bad things. But more recently, he was, I think he did the interiors too for Crashdown for Comic Tom. So.
Yes. I do have the Crashdown stuff from Comic Tom. He sends me things in the mail because I send him money. I think the 90s is back, my friend. Eric Busta man, looks like a throwback to the 90s on this one.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And so Jeremy Clark, he's from Arkansas.
Yep.
So he's pretty gets around the circuit.
Exactly.
He actually did a now that I need to write this down on my list. So he did a X-Men 101 homage for Crashdown, and he inked it actually. And so if Temple Smith did the interiors, I can get Temple Smith to sign my book. You better sign it for free since he owes Scott money. So there you go. I actually got a cover that Jeremy did, Team and Two, Last Ronin #1.
Yeah, he's got a long list. Right, coming down to the end here, we've got David DeGrand or DeGrand. I didn't collect any of these books, but I do appreciate animators like this. I mean, if he's the animator or the writer, I do appreciate that. Taking these properties and bringing them into print and the animation stuff compared to what we think of as comic art is so great in our industry. Chris Zanot Enot I don't know. I'm from the South, so I do not pronunciate well.
Chris, maybe not. I don't know.
But if this Maleficent covers example of his artwork, I do have some Maleficent. I just saw something in a box when I was going through trying to pull out some things. If this example of his artwork, really great stuff. Do not know Garrett Gunn, but I do know some of these things, and it looks like maybe Indy. I don't know. Andrew Magnum. I'll need to see if I still have any of his Evil Ernie stuff that he did about 5 years ago or so. You speak just right. Thank you so much, Gorilla. A couple of people were used to seeing, so maybe I'm not sure if these people are related. Gabriel Magnum and Andrew Mangum. Sorry, Mangum. If not, that's a weird coincidence. They both have the same last name.
Yeah.
Don McTeague. Again, I'm not familiar, but if this is an example of their artwork, yay.
So Dawn does a lot of girly type covers. You probably see it's kind of like Jamie Tyndall. But or Jace, if you think like, yeah, that would be Jamie Tyndall. Mm-hmm. Would be something like her stuff is.
Dan, I'm sorry, was you finished?
Yeah, I was finished.
Okay. Dan Mendoza, one of the co-creators, I believe, of Zombie Tramp. He's going to be here, and one of his other creators is down below. Jason Metcalf, War Angels. I want to say I recognize that name, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think they've been there before, but
What's your favorite genre with monsters and vampires? Oh, don't make me try to say that word. He's trying to get me to say it. Bill McKay is who I was thinking of. I believe Bill McKay was his writer whenever they were doing some of the early Zombie Tramp stuff, if I'm recognizing my names right.
okay.
Mustafa Musa?
Yeah, not kin to the guy in Lion King,
Ah,
Mustafa.
now, Tony Moy is the one I bought. You bought a big piece of original art from last year, and I bought a small piece from him. He's the
Yep.
one that had that cool stamp, that wax stamp.
Yeah, he was the watercolor guy.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. Don, much, I think the last name is just Win.
Okay.
Pablo the Gorilla. I don't know.
Maybe
Todd,
maybe it's in
relation.
China. Yeah, yeah.
Of course, my buddy Tone Rodriguez. He and I grew up near each other. We didn't know each other, but we're almost the same age, I believe. And yeah, we grew up near each other there in North Louisiana.
Yeah, you know, Wayne said he come by the shop there one day.
He does. He pops by the shop every now and then. I need to get that feral stuff. I think Todd had the feral stuff pulled aside for me. Appearing at the Game Caves booth. J.P. Roth, author. I apologize. Russell, I'm sorry, William Russell, cover artist. Looks like for Image. I don't. That's what the aliens sound like, and
Oh, okay. That was a direct
I'm
translation.
sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll recognize them. Fabrice Spolsky.
Sabolsky, I think. Anyway, I'm going to mispronounce his name too. But what he's best known for is Spider-Man Noir. So,
Okay.
yeah. So co-creator Spider-Man Noir and Renee Witherstater did colors on She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Whited out Stan Lee's signature off my book. But she true story. So, but yeah, so she's a mainly an art rep now.
She is. Yeah, she's more known to me, I guess. I didn't even know. Like she was there last year.
Yeah.
That she did the colorist and stuff, but I knew her more as like the editor of a lot of those Marvel books back in the day. Anna Zhu. I mean, looks like an up and coming maybe cover artist. Falling into that popular genre of like
the ladies
and yeah. If you're an up and coming artist, you got to draw, I guess, Vampirella. That's a requirement. Some of the canceled people, Tony Daniel canceling again from last year, I believe.
Yeah.
Ethan Zerdy and Bjor Barnez.
Yeah, Zerdy, Matt and Berenz I've met before too, but yeah, I had already pulled out some books for Tony Daniel and then saw that he canceled. I was like, that sucks. So yeah, I mean, a great list of folks. Certainly, if you're more fan of a writer, more fan of a whatever, and so for time's sake, we won't go into every one of these right here, but there's quite a few A-list actors. If actors are your thing,
yeah,
they've got them there. And the way that Dallas Fan Expo kind of divvies out like the space and stuff, like if you're not an actors person, you never have to go over there, right? And so it really kind of keeps things a little bit separate, if you will. just from
Exactly.
so you don't gotten a whole bunch of people by you that have no clue what you're talking about or no
Yeah.
interest in any of the creators that you're talking to or
Yeah.
about.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So if you walk in, when you walk into the front doors, you have all your vendors. In the very back is your artist. If you go to the left, there's a drop down, which is about 5 or 6 steps, and then that's where all your celebrities, your anime voice actors, and all of that are. So they're really nicely separated because of the long lines and stuff. I'll just do a couple of shout outs here. If you're a big
mhm.
Doctor Who fan, they've got a lot of the classic around the David Tennant era of including David Tennant, Doctor Who being there. Marissa Tomei, I weren't y'all just talking about Marissa Tomei or some? There's something, some
we
conversation.
brought we brought it up on
Yeah,
Carlos's channel, and then also it got brought up on I think Rob's channel today.
today, yes, that's what I was
Mhm.
thinking. Shatner, I think I want to say Shatner was there last year, but don't quote me. $150, not bad, but always the line really long. The Thelma and Louise thing throws me off some, but Susan Sarandon, I mean, amazing, amazing actress, legendary. Gina Davis, I got to check out see if she's still a babe or not. Sam Raimi, be honest, I didn't like what he did with the Doctor Strange movie. I thought someone else could have brought that a little better.
And
Again, Helen Hunt, just kind of an odd throw in. That and Richard Dreyfuss is on here too. Just seems like it's like, oh, you're available and you're only a couple $1,000. Sure, come on down. Uh,
well, yeah, Richard Dreyfuss has been getting around to a few now, but yeah, some of these other ones, and like we were talking on Carlos's the other night. Some of these fan bases, if some of these guys are old, or if you're one of those people that likes to put a bunch of the same fan base together. Shelby mentioned Doctor Who, Star Trek's obviously another one, Stranger Things, and Star Wars. All these like fan bases where you can get a lot of people. And pictures together, and they do packages for that deal. So they do like package deals where you can get pictures with all of them together. They're going to be there if that is your thing. It is not.
and some of those deals aren't.
Yours.
Yeah, some of those deals aren't very bad. So, like for example, Shatner, I looked it up. Um, the I mean, his autograph price is 120, but the photo op price is 145.
Mhm.
So that's not really a bad deal. And I think you get a free signature with that. Don't quote me, but I think there's a signature that comes with that. So um, do not quote me on that one.
No, it's gospel now. Shelby said.
Shelby said this. You can go up to that lady that was rude to me last year because you got up and you got to get a ticket first and then get in line. And that lady is very rude to me. Alan Tudyk, I mean, I've loved this guy from way back before. Maybe he's gotten popular. The stuff he did on Firefly, and then of course one of my favorite series, Dollhouse, was amazing. Jonathan Franks, I met him a couple of years ago. It's been a while since they've had some of these Trekkies at cons, so uh maybe. Now, Ming Na Wen, I was a huge uh, Agents of Shield fan,
Mhm.
and she was one of the main characters in that. I would love to get her autograph, say hi to her. If she's got an Agents of Shield um, uh, picture,
Photo or something. Yeah.
yeah.
And most of the time they do whatever they star in. They're gonna have something related to that.
Now I do have a lot of Agents of Shield comics. I might try to dig one of those out. Another one of those is just kind of weird, but she's of course from Heroes, and definitely I wouldn't kick her out of bed for eating crackers. Hayden Panettiere. And I know on Carlos's, they said she's been out of the spotlight, but actually she's been on this long running show called Nashville for like forever. And she's a really good singer, and she's been doing things over in genres of country music that maybe we don't recognize as much. I really love this character from Ahsoka. So Natasha Bordizu. I'll be honest, I know nothing about the Last Airbender. Henry Winkler again, just another one of those weird. It's like, sure, come on down, the Fonz, and we'll find the spot for you.
Yo.
Um,
Well, and some of these guys, and I'm sure you've seen it too, that like if you, well, they pull like let's say Terminator 2, for example, because they had these folks at New Orleans Fan Expo, and they pull all these Terminator people. What's the Linda that plays Sarah Connors? Linda
Hamilton.
Yeah, there you go. So she was there, and so all the other people outside of her and the guy that played the T-1000, but even him, I mean, he didn't really have a huge career outside that. Some of them guys, they're not going to get no action unless, say, Lyndon Hamilton's there and somebody goes, man, I just want to go down the road just getting all these signatures.
Right.
And but it's sad because some of these people that don't have the group, but they may even let's say Randy Quaid. So Randy Quaid was at New Orleans Fan Expo, and he sat there so long, didn't have nobody. He finally just got up and left. So,
that is sad because he's such a classic comedic actor.
yeah. But yeah, so I mean, if you're a charmed person, you got those folks.
You've got all three of the charmed people here. You got Rose McGowan, there's Shannon Doherty, and then there's the main charmed person, Holly Marie Combs, that will be there. Jason Priestley, I did really like the show, the first and second part of Rebel Moon, if you haven't watched that. But I am a big Zack Snyder fan, and she was really good with that. You've got a couple of Seinfeld, the soup Nazi, and the lawyer, and then I'm really excited and wouldn't mind Don Bluth. I mean, classic. When I think of growing up with Disney, it's Don Bluth is usually that's associated with those.
Yeah, I thought about that, and it's not his signature is not too terribly bad. The problem is like everything else, like I want it, but I don't want it that bad. So like if I was gonna be over there, was it 80?
80, 100 if it's on other items. Price does not reflect sketches or original art.
So you can get a little bit pricey if you wanted him to do a remark or something for you, even if he would do it at his age. And I'm like,
Oh yeah, this is an old picture. Okay, this
Yeah.
is from the 70s, guys. So yeah.
So how much is it? Are you going to be drawing for you if you wanted to get a sketch? So
Exactly.
and to me, like none of those people scream like I want to go meet them. Like one year, Kevin Conroy was there. That was the next to the last time I seen him before he passed. And I'm like, I want to go down there. So I was willing to brave the mob because that area down there can be a mob, like long lines, and which is great for the fan expo and the actors and all that kind of stuff. But just me personally, I'd rather spend the time at a comic line or looking through some back issue bins. But
yeah, you and I both, and I'll get, of course, some great. I'll always have my video that I do every year of me getting, a walk by, as long as I don't get kicked out of the celebrities. I've kind of learned how now to ask who their handler is, talk to them and stuff. So I've kind of got the system worked out. So hopefully it was kind of smooth last year, but there are some people that do not like their images being taken.
Right.
And maybe it's a contract thing or something with a current project, but some people are weird about that.
Yeah.
Richard Dreyfuss, I mean, classic, anything you think of with science fiction. I mean, Jaws, Close Encounters. Huge fan. If you're a fan of, They Live or The Thing, I mean, this is what, he's the one last surviving member at the end of The Thing. And of course, he had the big fight scene with Roddy Piper and They Live. Wayne Knight, of course, Seinfeld. You got a couple of you got like 4 different Seinfeld people here. Of course, known for the Tick. Also, why don't they have the Tick listed here?
Spoon.
Exactly. You always have one of the Power Rangers there, and since the Green Ranger died, you got the Black Ranger. Like I said, you got a lot of Stranger Things and Doctor Who people. So Catherine Tate, Billie Piper, a little bit of crush on her when she's in Doctor Who, I'll have to admit. Alex Kingston, she's done several things outside of Doctor Who, but she had a really great recurring role with the David Tennant run on Doctor Who that I really enjoyed. Rose McGowan, I'll have to admit, a little bit of a lust for her too. Back in the Charm days, I am going to go see if she's still a babe. Carlo Esposito, I mean, the guy.
I can spoil. It's spoiler alert. She's not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Carlo Esposito. I just saw something else that he's in coming up. Oh, he's in everything since he broke out in Breaking Bad. So definitely fan favorite. And that is it. With that. You of course have a lot of great activities and things like that going on. Some of the main events, and I'll be quickly on this: some celebrity Q&A, photo ops, autographs, of course, cosplay, comics, sci-fi. Is looking for the panel discussions. I know someone mentioned the after parties. I have never been to any of these. I'll be honest. I'm old, and so I just don't fit in. This one does look interesting. Comic Explosion, Friday, June 9th, comics and cocktails. I have no idea. But it looks like they're going to have some artists: Tony Moy, Ben Temple-Smith, Ryan Brown, are going to be hanging out with you. Helen Hunt is going to be doing a Twister screening on Saturday at 8 p.m. at the Cinemark and IMAX. There'll be a drawing jam going on, a Jaws screening. I'm assuming Richard Dreyfuss may be there. I don't know.
I would imagine, yeah.
Maid Cafe.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh. Smell a restraining order. Time Traveler's Ball. So for Doctor Who cosplayers, I'm sure you'll probably see a couple of Doctor Who celebrities come to that. That's going to be Saturday from 9 p.m. till 2 a.m. What?
Whoa.
That's over at the House of Blues. Pikachu Day. I think everybody likes that name because it sounds like you're sneezing. Pikachu.
Choo.
Pet adoptions. You remember last year they had them set up there at the front entrance when you walked in. They had the little cages and stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, glad to see that they're there again. I was looking for the panel stuff.
So there was a art dinner that you could go to on Friday night. I think the tickets were either $600 or $700. Art Adams, David Finch, several big creators were going to be there. There you go, Comics and Cuisine. Yep. And so I'm guessing that Frank Miller's not going to be there, but because he got moved to Sunday. As much as I was mad about Jim Zub not being there, except on Sunday. If I had paid for the Frank Miller experience and wasn't going to be able to be there Sunday, that would really suck.
Yeah, I don't know what the cost is. Let me see if we can see real quick. Well, they've shifted it to Sunday at 5 to accommodate Frank Miller, it looks like.
So yeah,
And it's $150. Oh, this is just the Frank Miller experience. So you don't get Sunday, 4 p.m. Frank Miller, Stephen Niven, and Frank Choi. So they looks like they've switched around some of the names. But that's the Wolverine panel. Sunday at 4 o'clock. That's free. Okay. You will get an opportunity to receive an 11x17 Wolverine Frank Miller full lithograph for free while supplies last. Then you can get the Frank Miller Premium Experience, which will be right after that at 5 o'clock. And that's $150. You get one copy of Wolverine #1 exclusive variant. You get an exclusive 11x17 Marvel signature print. So I'm not sure. You get one signature from Frank Miller. So there's a guaranteed signature. So pay $150. You get a photo with Frank Miller, a blind bag sketch card, and supposedly some other artists may be hanging out with him. So not a bad deal for $150. If you're going to be there on Sunday, looks like you get a lot of exclusives. You definitely get a chance to meet, get a signature, get a photo, and all that. So not a bad deal. Comics and cuisine. Art Adams, Joyce Chin, Klaus Janson, Joseph Loeb, David Finch, and Coley Hammer. I've been to some of these at other cons. I've never been to it at Fan Expo. That's Friday at 7. That's the $600 one you're just talking about.
Yeah. And so with that, you get like a sketch card, probably about the same size as this right here. Sketch card from each of the people, which is great. I'm not a huge fan of sketch cards, but if that's your thing and you want to meet the people, but like unless you just happen to look up and sit beside one of them and they're overly talkative, how much really interaction you're going to get. And I don't have to pay for that if I go up to the booth, but
no, exactly. But you do get a 6-course meal.
Yeah, there's that too.
Exclusive giveaways, including a one-of-a-kind sketch card from each of the creators. So that's not bad. You're guaranteed an original art, which is probably about the size of a remark on a comic cover.
Right.
So you get a sketch card from each of those people. So I don't know. I mean, hey, maybe it's a good meal. Maybe it's an amazing meal. Maybe it's filet mignon and lobster. Who knows? But $600. I know I paid for one of these once and it was okay. They had things set up where a celebrity was sitting at each individual table, so you didn't know who you'd actually get.
Yeah.
And that was kind of cool. And then we all just went and hung out it was at a hotel, and then we all went and hung out at the lobby afterwards. And they were very, very accommodating with just hanging out and talking and stuff. So that was pretty fun. Kubert Schools Lab. So that's going to be there. Kubert School portfolio reviews.
So yeah, if you're an artist and want to kind of get your art out there for some people that got connections in the industry, then there you go.
Yep. Creator spotlights, workshops and seminar, sketch tools. Again, I cannot find the link for the panels to tell you when some of that is going on. Cosplay meetups, Comic Sign Artist Alley, of course, that we've already talked about. They need a UX person like myself to help do this. Am I just cray cray, or I see shop, but that's not what I want? I see guests. It does not show panels. Attractions where you would think panels are not there. Plan your
So
visit.
Fan Expo also has its own app. So if you're in Dallas, and especially if it's your first time, and you're not familiar with your way around the shop, the show floor, that would definitely be, up your alley, pun intended, to get. And then therefore, if you go to plan your visit, you got floor plan, and then you also see that they have a mobile app there. But that way you can kind of see your way around. I will say, and I say this all the time, that a lot of the panels are the one thing that I miss out on with a lot of these shows, because I'm either busy, and then by the time I think about it, the panel's done. But it's definitely an interesting thing.
So this is like I talked about. You walk in the front here, the main entrance. Now, when you come around the side, uh you kind of come around this way and outside before you get in. You can buy some of the exclusives that they're
Mhm.
on. You can get the con bag for $5, I think. I know that we stood in line and picked up a few things last year. They have a stage with a lot of things going on. It's really a good experience, but it is kind of weird because you walk around this side and then turn left and you go in the main entrance where you have all of your booths, and in the very back is your artist alley. And then, like I said, down these steps to the left is your celebrity photo op area. Um, if you haven't picked up your tickets, you need to pick up your tickets when you come in the main area. You have this large ticketing hall, which is where we'll be hanging out on Thursday trying to get our stuff. And then you have the main theater over here on the right hand side. Okay, so they do have schedule. I finally found that. And I guess panels are just mixed in with the schedule. But so I know we're not gonna have enough time. Hey Tony, did they are you still in Italy? They let you out of Italy? Did they now, okay, I'm looking at this. Friday at 4:45 p.m. They're gonna have a panel with Richard Dreyfuss. Um, Probably not gonna be crowded because it's a Friday. So that sounds like a great deal to me if we set our alarms for 4:30. I mean 4:45.
Does your alarm work?
At 5 p.m. At 5 p.m. Origins of X23 and Beyond with Kyle, Yost, and Choi. See, there
Okay.
you go. That's the kind of cool stuff you want to try and go to. Um, these things aren't crowded, but why aren't they crowded? Because they're trying to find the freaking panel sucks. Sorry. To me, my X-Men, the social content of X-Men 97, cosplay, photography, and tips. Yeah, asking them to come back to your room doesn't work.
Yeah.
Uh,
So cosplay is not
consent.
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 Yeah. Just
5:45, Legends of Hollywood, Chatman and Henry Winkler together at 5:45. See, come on. How many times have you seen Shatner and seen Captain Kirk and the Fonz together?
that's the crossover we never knew we needed.
That's it. Uh Voices of Power 6:15, Theater Room 2. So you've got Kellen Goff, Robert Craig Smith, Hayden Terry, and David Hayter. The Jaws special event I mentioned. Adam Savage, if you're into Mythbusters. Marvel Writers Spotlight at 7 p.m. on Friday. Jerry Dungan and Philip Kennedy Johnson. So, yeah, I'll apologize to. Um, and if you were a big Baldur's Gate 3 fan like I did, I played through it 4 times. Um, Neil Newborn's impact on interactive storytelling is going to be at 7:45. Um, yeah, the reason why they don't get probably good access is their schedule and trying to find things suck. Tony, thank you for the videos from Italy. It was great. It looked beautiful, and it was funny hearing a New York accent superimposed upon these beautiful landscapes of Italy, and you hear his New York accent. It was hilarious. I'm like, boy, I'm sure you stick out like a sore thumb around there. Oh man. So yeah, their scheduling layout sucks. Maybe the app is a little bit better. Um Honestly, I think we have to download and check in somehow when you walk in and you do your badge and stuff with the app, but
That's right. Yeah, you either do it with the app or you just scan it on your phone and it takes you to a link on your deal. So that way people don't pass badges around without other people.
yeah.
So.
Let's see. Um on Carlos's show, y'all can go check that out. Talked a lot about hotels and stuff. I do know where we stayed at last year, the Aloft was sold out really, really early. I think people found out how convenient, how beautiful, and how reasonable that hotel was because Jason and I had a great stay there. Uh, Jason has a very close hotel, and I'm just right around the corner. So
What's up, number one Marvel fan, another art collector in the chat. Appreciate you for stopping by. We were talking about some art, and I don't know about you. I like to get my art signed if it isn't already by the creators.
oh, for sure, for sure. Yeah, for sure. And let me do one more shout out.
Yep, go ahead.
Jack is over here. So not only are these great for putting comic books in, but they're also obviously great cat pillows.
Yeah.
So our sponsor, Jack,
is Jack. There you go.
Our sponsor tonight is Comic Shell, a graded comic travel case. Now, not just for graded books, these things hold all of your comics. Now, if you're like me and Jason, where you carry a bunch of comic books around and you don't have a wagon and a short box, you need something like this. Now, gone are the days of this bulky thing that I used to carry around. I would carry 3 of these around in the past. And you know, the sharp corners, the inconvenience of trying to open this up and slide in and out of my books was just a headache. Plus, it doesn't hold some larger books. So I'm really happy this company, the Comic Shell, came out with this product. It's really nice, high quality, durable, but holds about 15 ungraded comics. It holds all the way up to slabs. And with my code, Shelby's Comics, remember that's with 3 S's, one at the beginning, one at the end, and one in the middle, you get 10% off your order when you go to thecomicshell.com. So please go support these people. Get this product. It's not expensive. I think it's $15. Jason, this thing cost me $15.
Oh yeah.
And this cost which would you rather have?
Well, I mean, I would rather have the one that's a little more versatile, but
Yeah. So, and they have it. And what I did is I did the discount. I bought a green and a black one, and you get a discount for buying 2. So, go over to Comic Shell, thecomicshell.com, and pick up your travel case. got a nice handle, a zipper. I love this product, and help support. Thank you so much.
Yep. So that's going to be our plans for Dallas Fan Expo. I'm sure that at the week thereof there'll be some lives. So if you're following both Shelby and or I, you'll see some lives both on IG and also here. And then we'll do a show, I guess, Friday night.
Friday night we'll do a show. So both of us are getting there on Thursday. We always do a
Robot Shelby.
Am I caught up?
No, you're like staticky robot Shelby now.
All right, that's going to trouble. So is that better?
No.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. But I don't have a reset button.
Oh, yeah, he was fine the whole time right till then. But yeah, so we'll be doing that stuff, and then we'll go probably a Thursday or that Friday before the show opens. Go and pick up, go to maybe Duncanville or Titan or somewhere like that.
We got to check out Keith's Comics, which was highly recommended to us.
Okay, yeah, that's that one you sent me the link for. I've never been to them. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and if you got any other place that you know of in Dallas, last year I took Southern, some of my favorite places, and he wasn't impressed. He didn't like a few of them. So, took a couple of antique markets. He did get to buy a Monopoly video game for the Sega. For the Sega that you got to add to the Monopoly collection.
It's up there.
Yeah, otherwise he wasn't impressed very much, so I didn't do a good job. So I told him that this year that he was going
to your deal's getting worse.
Again, I don't have a reset button.
But yeah, so and then also for me, I know Shelby does a show every night with every Thursday night rather with Gorilla Todd at Thursday, right? And then also for me, probably the week that I go to the first part of the week that I go to Dallas, I'll probably do a preview show of what I'm planning to do at Heroes, because I come in back Saturday night, and then I fly out Tuesday to go to North Carolina, and then I won't fly until Sunday morning flying back. So there'll be some more content coming there forth. So
we will we'll maybe do a couple of live streams. So I'm not sure if I'm better or not.
Yeah, you're better.
Huh?
Your voice works now.
Okay. We'll be doing a couple of live streams, of course, from a couple of the comic shops where possible. Excuse me. We'll be doing a Friday night live stream from each of our hotels, because Jason won't tell me his room number anymore. I won't explain why. And then we'll be doing a post convention show at some point. We might have to wait till Jason gets back from North Carolina to do that. But at some point, we will do a post convention show. I'll have the video that I shoot from the convention. And yeah, so a lot of things lined up. I know, right?
Wrong one. Nick, the pasties. I thought you were talking about the Tony's comment to you.
So, anyway, yes, and yeah, we're both jelly now. I was jelly when you sent me those videos, and then I think Jason's jelly from seeing the artwork that you got there at the Como. And apparently Jason is a freaking international traveler too, and he was there just a few weeks ago in the same area, and knew about that coming up. And so Anyway.
Yep. Well, yeah. So, yep. So thanks everybody for joining us tonight. And we're going to bust out of here. And so peace, love,
Love and comics. Thank you all. Bye.
adios.